everybody, and welcome to your podcast, Mind the Time. My name is Fintan Harvey, joined, of course, by Mr. Brendy Mahan.
Hello, everybody. What's the crack?
How are you doing, Brendy?
I'm not going to lie, I've been a wee bit fragile this week. I had a pretty heavy weekend on the drink, which is out of character for me these days. I hardly ever drink anymore.
On the Sazzle, where are we at?
Down in Donegal. We climbed Mount Derry on Friday morning in the fucking snow, and then we went to the bar, and then there we stayed for 2 days.
Happy days.
Great crack.
Just stayed in the bar for 2 days.
But I slept there and everything.
I'm glad you've done climbing Mount Errigal first.
There was cans. There was cans up Errigal. So we'll say nothing. We'll say nothing.
Say no more. And of course we have Sean Carey. Sean, what is the crack?
Hello. Sweet hello.
Sweet hello. How are you doing, Sean?
I'm good. Busy week, but grand.
Were you up Errigal?
Nope.
No, well, there you go.
Wasn't that busy there?
No, exactly.
I was up the left.
So we're now in our new surroundings. We have a new podcast room. We're in Sean Carey's room, which is looking fucking awesome.
It has.
Oh, aye.
Looking very well.
My old bedroom.
Sean's old bedroom, which he painted with a wee small brush. It looks fucking amazing. It looks class.
Right.
Yeah, well done, Sean.
Thank you.
And we are, of course, joined by a special guest this week. It is a stand-up comedian and a damn good friend. It is, of course, Mr. Darren McCay. Darren.
Woo! Thank you very much. Thanks very much, Fintan, and guys, for having me. And looking forward to what's coming out of my mouth, because I have no idea. But, you know, I'm looking forward to this, and see what happens.
Best place to start.
Do you know what we'll do first? We'll do a wee plug for Darren's solo show that's coming up.
Oh,
yep.
Called You Can't Make Me.
No, you can't.
Is it called You Can't Make Me or You Can't Make Me?
You can't.
You Can't Make Me, of course.
has to be canny.
Of course.
You can't, aye.
And that is going to be on where, Darren?
It's on Brickworks on the 26th of May. It's a Sunday night. It's a bank holiday weekend, so there's no excuse.
No excuse.
Absolutely no excuse.
Yeah, because all these people say, you know, I can't come and see you because you're always on during the week. Fuck them.
And see all the people that say, like, we all get this. It's like, geez, I really must come and see you.
Oh,
I haven't seen you do stuff. Well, I'm actually doing a solo show. I'll definitely try and get, and then you meet them again.
Oh, aye.
So we don't want any of that.
No,
none
of that shite there.
But it's been promising. A lot of people have actually already, well, not a lot, but
7.
a few have booked. All 3 of them that I know. No, you know
Just
what I
us
mean.
3.
But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. It's for me a full show is something I meant to do ages ago. But the thing was, I don't write. So it's all material that I've done before, with maybe a wee bit of new stuff. But God knows what way it's going to come out. There's no rehearsals. I don't give a shit.
That's a cool way to do it.
It's a cool way to do it. The not writing things down thing, like that freaks me out, but each to their own.
Yeah, I tend to write on stage. You know, I tend to have an idea, get up and spew it out, and then people laugh. I'll go, oh, I mean that, all right. But I very rarely do the same way twice, or the same set twice the same way.
Yeah, that's class.
You know, but you get there in the end, you know it works, and you get there, eventually.
It's a great wee thing that you're doing in Chicken Box Comedy as well. In Bennigan's, which is run by Rory McSwiggan, a fucking excellent night. So Darren does a thing where the acts will come up and they'll do their thing on stage, and then Darren makes wee notes about their set and makes wee jokes about...
Yeah, well, it's
the set that you've just seen.
It's not like an MC who would refer to all the, immediately after each act or whatever. What I do is I'm inspired. Like, it might not even be, but it might be something they mentioned that inspires me to do a wee bit of material I might have had no use for, or couldn't fit it in a set, or I've invented it that night. It's a brilliant exercise. It really gets it. See, it's my age. You need something to get the adrenaline going, because I don't give a shit.
Keep you sharp.
Oh, aye.
It is class, though. It's
and
really
it does
good.
Give you new material, so yeah.
It is. There must be some nights it can be a bit of a struggle, because you're doing it on your feet.
But not only that, there it might be the same 3 acts that have been on the last 3 weeks.
Doing the same material.
Doing the same material. And you go,
you have to get inspired all over again. Yeah.
It's a pity you can't take like a Viagra of comedy.
Oh,
Viagra for comedy.
Yeah, but you see, I think you get to a certain stage where you're on stage, and it doesn't matter the size of the crowd or what the crowd are like or something. You just do it, and the nerves aren't a thing as much. You know, they're not. Do you know what I'm on about, fun?
I hear you, man. Yeah.
You know, it's like a job now.
Yeah.
At the same time, too, if it's good, it gives you that wee rush. But if it's bad, who cares? You don't. You're not going to dwell on it. You're not going to. You know.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, you're really good at that. You just got to fuck it.
Fuck
it. Where I would lose sleep for 3 nights. Yeah, I wish I could be more like you doing that, and I am trying.
But I do that with everything. Just repress everything, and then you'll explode someday. But it's do you know what? It's worth it.
If you're going to explode someday, do it on stage. Just a complete meltdown.
Oh, it won't happen. I have breakdown cover.
So, Darren, you have chosen the year 1978.
Yes.
Lovely. Is there any reason for choosing 1978?
No, I never put any thought on it whatsoever. No, it was
he only decided it's sitting there now.
Picked it out of the air. No, it was actually a toss-up between 1978 and 1977. I loved the 70s. The 70s was a time for me that was liberating, and it was childhood, and it was freedom and all that there. But I had to pick, and I picked 1978 because it was the year of my favorite film ever.
Oh, what's your favorite film ever?
Superman the movie.
Nice.
I went to see it in the cinema, and it blew me away. Now, I had seen Star Wars the year before in the cinema.
A New Hope was out 77, wasn't it? That's right.
Excuse me, it was just Star Wars back then.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course. There's too fucking many.
There was none of this New Hope shite then. It was called that. You all Star Wars and Dark Vader.
Dark Vader.
Dark Vader.
So where did you see it?
Strand Cinema.
Strand Cinema.
I got the cardboard cutout of Christopher Reeve a few years later because it was in the foyer for fucking years.
Did you just left it?
No, my dad got it for me. I can't remember. He says, I said, where'd you get that? He says, say nothing.
You just see your dad come walking home from the pub with Christopher Reeve under his arm,
up his jumper,
life size. Yeah.
Do you still have it?
No, it actually it got damaged really badly. I can't remember how. I just came home one day and it was lying there a heap.
Somebody tried to make it fly.
Maybe you left kryptonite in the room.
Oh, Jesus, nothing worse than kryptonite under the bed along with a sock. Do you leave that kryptonite under the bed again? How did I tell you about that?
So 1978 was the Chinese Year of the Horse.
Oh, horse.
Yes, horse.
Go on, horse.
Yes, horse.
Yes, horse.
So what's the crack, horse?
It was a good year. Now, the thing for me was it was a big year of change because I moved from an area where the lovely wee village, it's not lovely now, but it was lovely then.
Where was the wee village?
New build. But it had a wee village feel to it back then. But the pavements were red, white and blue even then. And it was lovely and rustic, and it was quiet, and you know, it was just nice and peaceful. It was the height of the Troubles, but you wouldn't have known out there. But then that year, my dad seen the writing on the wall, so we moved. Right off the writing says I in a lane big right.
The writing on the wall says get out McCay's.
And so we moved then to where the pavements were green, white and gold. This lovely new area called Galia.
Oh, yes.
Surrounded by lovely green fields.
Of course.
Delicious.
But it was a total culture shock for me because I was moving from this lovely place to this fucking, everything was grey and there was broken glass and barbed wire and it was just horrible. You know, it seemed horrible when you were young, but at the time, then you grew used to it, and then it was great.
Yeah. You just get used to your surroundings.
You get used to your surroundings, but the people were different. Of course.
Yeah.
You were, you know, it was a whole new culture for me, and
it would be, yeah. Like between Newbold, even still, I would say there's a cultural difference.
Probably more difference now.
Obvious, apart from that.
But the biggest one for me, and I do this in one of my sets, was first day of school, and I didn't know any. Well, I sort of knew people, but they weren't in my class or whatever. But I was out at the playground. I was a wee bit sort of lost, and I went and sat on the school wall. And the principal seen me, and he came out. He says, "What are you doing sitting on the school wall? You know you're not allowed to sit on the school wall. It's against the rules." And he caned me. You know, with he had a cane in his hand, he caned me. And I was going, "What the?" See, I came from a state school where they did cane you, but it was like done extreme.
For very bad. Never sitting on the school wall.
No, and he was, "Oh, you know the rules." I'm going, "I'm only here, it's my first day." And he was, "Oh, yeah, you knew anyway," and then strapped me in. I was like, Jesus, and I was sitting in class sort of in shock, you know, and then it was a lighter atmosphere in the school I was at before, you know, it was more fun, more kind of...
Are you talking primary school here?
Primary school, of course.
What age were you?
Would have been 7, going on 8.
7? He's fucking caning you? Jesus.
And
you can't do that.
Can't do that.
you can't make me.
That's it.
You were close.
I'm away.
Close shot.
So I was sitting there, and it was a more friendly atmosphere at the school was before, but this one was a wee bit more, because the Waynes were a bit more rowdy, and like, they had to keep them more in line, so it was kind of a wee bit more stricter. And so I was sitting in class first day, and the class had started, and I couldn't find my pencil. I was looking around me, I was like, "Oh jeez, where's my pencil?" So I just happened to, the person beside me, so I couldn't lend me a pencil there. I can't find my pencil. And the next thing I heard, "Shut up," and this blur came towards me. It was a duster, no big heavy wooden chalk duster. I had chalk dust on my ear. It skinned my ear and it flew past me, and I was looking in shock going, and he went, "Shut up," and he says, "See if you talk one more time," he says, "you're going out that bloody window." Jeez. And I was sitting there going, "All right."
It's brutal, man.
And I was going, "Right, okay." I was sitting there, and the class was progressing, and I still hadn't got a pencil, and I couldn't write the stuff down. He was telling people to write down, and so I said, the quietest I could do it, I sort of whispered over to somebody, "Go on, give us the pencil." And he said, "Right." He cracked the bab, and this is, I swear to God, true story. He grabbed me under the oxters, under the armpits, lifted me over, opened the window, and held me out a second floor window by my ankles.
Fucking Michael Jackson.
We blanket there.
And then the strangest thing happened. He started laughing. And I started laughing. That's what it was. Right. Better get this right for my stage show. I started laughing, and this cracked him up, and he was all, "What are you laughing at?" The height didn't bother me, you know, then, because you know when you're away and you're invulnerable, like
Superman.
Superman. Yeah. So I was laughing away, and he was all, "What the Frank's so funny," and he pulled me back in, and he says, "What's so funny?" And I says, "Well, I know where my pencil is now." Because when he was holding me out by my ankles, it was in my back pocket, and it passed me. It passed me and landed on the playground. So I said, he said, "Sit down and say nothing." And I sat down again, and then about 5 minutes later, I put my hand up, and he said, "What is it now?" And I said, "Sir, I have no pencil. Can I go out to the yard and get my pencil?" And he said, "Oh, right, go." And I went out, and I went out to the yard, got my pencil, was walking back in. The principal says, "What are you doing out of class? You know you shouldn't be out of class." Cane me again.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
See.
First day of school, fucking brilliant.
Walking around the place getting battered by everybody.
I came home.
Lovely.
total shock. What the fuck is this place?
Take me back to
I'm
New
going back to New
Baltans.
Baltans.
Did school get any better after that?
Oh, you know, you got the run of the place, and then you were part of the furniture. Then you were grand. It turned out it wasn't that bad of a, you know, once you got the knew your character and all the rest, and you know, I really enjoyed it down there. It was an eye opener, but it was still at the same time fun.
Hey, and do you know what? It didn't affect you, Darren.
There's plenty of pencils.
They're sitting up They're sitting up very aggressively. I don't know. I'll describe this. They're all sitting in a row, upright,
and sharpened.
I also have a cane, just in case.
And we have a window.
And we have a second story window here as well.
Yeah. Happy days. Feel right at home.
Your first day at school will be the same as your first day on our podcast. Dangling out a window.
Oh, yeah.
So I growing up in Derry in 1978, man, because obviously it was height of the Troubles.
Height of the Troubles.
That's what Roy McSwiggan would say.
Exactly. And as I say, living in a new area, hadn't a clue what was going on, didn't know who Ira was. And
who's this Yuvif?
Yuvif. And I thought Hitch Block was Catholic Lego. You know,
and Northern Ireland version of Prisoner Cell Block Hitch.
And whereas when I lived in New Baltans, it was like the soldiers would be standing, let you play with their helmet and let you hold their gun and kick football.
Right. You didn't get that in Galia,
Didn't get that in Galia. No. And I'd be friendly with one soldier, and I would see him every day, and I'd be, all right, Joe, what's a crack, Joe? And and then we moved to Galia. Our house was raided. Funny enough, the same day, my first day of school. And,
Jesus, man.
What a day.
Our house was raided
Fucking hell.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up to a big Alsatian at the end of my bed, snuffing. Jesus. And I looked down and I thought, Jesus, I didn't know what was going on. And then I looked up, and there's a big British soldier standing over my bed, and I was all, oh, yes, Joe, what's a crack? He wasn't expecting that.
No. And then he caned you in, did he? Jesus, Big Joe the Brit. Hey.
Did you ever see Big Joe the Brit after that?
No, did I fuck?
No.
Your friendship ended there and then. We were standing in your room at 4 in the morning.
I don't think they hang around Galia too long. No.
Wouldn't have thought so.
No, wouldn't have been a place for them.
It was so funny because the British soldiers, back then, people, it's funny with dogs. People didn't have like inside dogs. Everybody in Galia had outside dogs. It's not like nowadays where everybody has a wee pet on the house and running around. No, in them days it was like there was kennels out the back,
Aye, and people let their dogs out in the morning and go and do their business in the street and then call them back in.
Just go back in. So we were, what do you call it? You couldn't go 2 yards for seeing an old beige dog shite.
Whatever happened to beige dog shite?
The diet changed. That's what I found that out. It was actually a diet change. The dog food changed.
So the dogs started looking after their figure?
They started getting all slim and all.
It was the white dog shit.
You don't say it about that anymore.
Chalky, but white chalky like a dog white shit.
I was going to say that it's because people loved it now, but they fucking don't. Walking around my street, they certainly don't.
No.
Lathered and shite.
And the thing was as well, they used to let the dogs out and they would train them, or I don't know what, they attacked the British soldiers, you see they'd be down, and the next thing these two big Alsatians would be coming at them and they see the boys running.
I was about to crack a wild bad joke there, but I'm like, well, I have to say it now. Who let the dogs out?
Oh, Jesus.
Who let the dogs out?
Had to be says.
So, like, growing up in Northern Ireland at that time, like, there was 80 people murdered in Northern Ireland at that time, and just to be going on, and British soldiers about the place, and just be going on about your life.
Yeah.
Well,
you see, I grew up oblivious.
Yeah, well, that's it, once you're in it.
But I grew up in the middle of Galia and never saw a riot.
No.
And I never saw anything, to be honest. I heard about things, and I heard people doing this and doing that, but to be honest, I had no interest.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like something foreign to me. You know, it wasn't
another world. Just
I had no, you know, I wasn't brought up that way to be either way. You know, I just
go with the
flow. You know, but I can see. At the time, looking back, you have a different perspective. But back then, didn't give a shit.
No.
So you'd have been going over to moving into Galia and having to make new friends and stuff at like 7 years old.
I never any bother making friends.
Keeping them was the problem.
Or you know, howling on them. Don't go. No, no. What I used to do is when I lived in New Buildings, I had this friend who was like a street urchin, but everybody was afraid of him. And I had made friends with him, so everybody was afraid of me.
What do you mean, a street urchin? Like a homeless dude?
Like a wee, you know, what do you call like a
Victorian times?
I have some more Oliver Twist, kind of. You know, we sort of hardy, you know, but he was wee tiny wee boy, but everybody, I think it was because he's family. He was kind of like the mafia of the, you know, so you mess with him, you mess with like everybody, you know.
And he's here today.
So, I met him there recently. He's built like a shit house now.
All right.
But when I was friends with him, then nobody messed with me. You know, it was like, and like we were the opposite ends. He was like Protestant, like he was really Protestant. He went inside for gun running or something. But you know, I always, same thing happened when I was in Galia. I made friends with all these people that, you know,
were connected.
Or people wouldn't mess with. So by association, they wouldn't have messed with me. But I didn't think that way. It just happened. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I was just always made good friends or bad friends, whatever way you look at it. You know.
So we'd usually go and see what everybody else was doing in that year, but
I wasn't doing a wild pile, to be honest.
No, taking it easy.
I wasn't even fucking in existence.
No.
There wasn't even an ocean.
Wasn't even swimming in a testicle.
No.
It's a couple of things that were going on in 1978. So there was a World Cup year for the start. Your dad would have been into football?
It would have been, but that's where it ends. I don't know a fuck about football. The only thing I do know is Pelé was well popular during the World Cup. I know he wasn't on it, but he was all over the fucking TV in 78.
He would have been. Argentina actually won that World Cup. They beat the Dutch 3-1 in the final. We got a new pope as well.
We actually, there was a year of 3 popes.
It was a year of 3 popes, is right?
Yeah, we had Pope Paul the 6th. And then he croaked it. And then in June, we had Pope John Paul the 1st.
John Paul the 1st. He lasted 33 days.
That's right.
Big JP.
Big JP.
Shout out to Big JP1.
Big JP1.
And then we had the sequel, JP2.
JP2, first Polish
JP
Pope.
Harder.
JP Harder.
He done well. He hung around for a good wee while then.
He was a wee bit of a favourite. You know, the one he coming over to Ireland and all, looking up.
Did he?
Aye. Do you remember?
He came over and he sort of go, "Hey boys, calm it down a bit.
Cool the Jets, lads."
Oh, to the priest, you know, dirty bastard.
Oh, fuck aye. Did you just have the thing in your house? I remember at my granny's house was the photograph on the wall of Pope John Paul II, John F. Kennedy,
and Tupac.
The Holy Trinity.
All the boys.
Was that a Where's Wally poster?
No, that was an actual thing. Who was it? It was John Paul II, JFK, and probably Our Lady or something.
Well, it's funny how 2 of them were shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third one too. They might have been shot. We don't know who it was.
We just don't know yet.
It
was JR from Dallas.
Oh, by the way, Dallas premiered.
Dallas came out in 1978. Look at that for a flawless fucking like there now.
Hey.
Were you a fan of Dallas?
It was a fuck. But everybody watched it. You know,
everybody watched it.
And the biggest thing was whenever they shot JR, and that was like huge. But that wasn't 1978. That's just. But it changed primetime soap forever.
It did.
You know, so yeah.
Just shows my age. But when I hear the term "Who shot JR," I don't think of Dallas. I think of your man from Father Ted. Pat Short with a fucking t-shirt. I killed the man, father.
Dallas was such a big thing. Because you only had like 4 channels then. I suppose you had the 2.
No, in 1978, you only had 3 channels.
Was Channel 4 not out yet?
No. You only had ITV, BBC One and BBC Two. Now, if you fucking stood with your aerial on the roof, you could get RTE One.
You see, in Galia, you would have been a wee bit lower.
But it was. We had 2 TVs. One was because we were quite middle class. We had a good TV. Nobody stole TVs back then,
right?
Because it took 3 people. They left them. So you had one big TV down in your room, and then we had a slightly smaller one, but it wasn't a portable, upstairs, but it was black and white.
Right.
And it was a holdover from like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you know, when colour came out. We fucking have to get a colour TV. And so colour only came out in like 72 or something like that. And the funny thing was, like, your TV license was cheaper if you had a black and white TV.
Right.
Not that anybody in Gallia was paying.
No.
Does that still apply?
Probably, aye.
Oh, it is.
You have a black and white TV.
Get a black and white TV, save myself a few pounds.
Just turn the colour down.
It's the same with dog too. You know, if you had a black and white dog, it was cheaper. You got RTE1 and what happened in 1978, you got RTE2 for the first time ever. There you go.
But was it called Network 2?
No, RTE2.
It was RTE2 first.
It changed the Network 2 later.
Because I always remember the logo that goes down the big 2.
Yeah.
And you'd be always raging because the wee black and white TV up, you had to dial it in. It wasn't like boop, 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 the channel. You had to dial it on like a fucking radio. And you remember, and then this class program going on, you'd be going, I wish I could. You'd be squinting away trying to see what it was, you know.
What else is going on? Charlie Chaplin's
remains were stolen.
Yeah.
Jesus, how's that? I've never heard that before in my life.
They were found 11 days later.
Right, where?
Not where they had left it.
Not where they left it.
When you say his remains, like
his body,
they took the coffin and all.
Actual body. He wasn't like cremated and they stole his ashes or something.
No, do you know what? There's a wee. See in my notes here, there's a wee ...
Right.
And I was supposed to go back and read about what actually happened.
And you didn't?
And then I didn't. We can just make it up.
One thing I used to watch in I think it was 1978. There used to be a show on BBC Two called Hooray for Harold Lloyd. And I don't know if you know who Harold Lloyd was. He's this guy. He's actually the inspiration for Clark Kent.
Right.
But he was a black and white star like Charlie Chaplin, silent comedy. And he was actually bigger than Charlie Chaplin. But his films were all destroyed in a fire.
No way.
So that's why nowadays he hasn't remembered as much as Charlie Chaplin.
Wow.
But he was more popular than Charlie Chaplin at the time. And I loved watching. They had all these remaining bits and they had to just cobble together like a compilation thing.
Right.
But he was famous for, he used to climb up buildings like a human fly and do all these amazing stunts hanging off clock faces.
I've seen that photo.
Yeah. And he actually did that. And one of his stunts went badly wrong and it blew off like his thumb and these 2 fingers here. So he actually did that stunt with that, you know.
Like a turtle?
And he had a prosthetic. Wow. He had a prosthetic thumb and 2 fingers, you know. And he was amazing. And I used to love watching. And he had a great theme tune too. It was like...
Is it better than ours?
It's Hooray for Harold Lloyd. Did it.
Hooray for Harold Lloyd.
I can't remember the words. But it used to come on. I used to be glued to this, you know. It was fucking brilliant.
Big Harry.
I must look up that compilation. It's probably on YouTube or something.
It used to be on BBC Two, but it was a compilation show. But you'll get clips of them, you know. But the way they put it together was pretty good.
Cool. The big movie of that year, anybody know?
Well, there was The Deer Hunter, Halloween.
Deer Hunter, was that how early that was? Jesus.
Did you miss that, Sean?
I'm nearly sure Deer Hunter was 1978.
No, I'm sure. I just never knew. I always thought it would have been a bit later, but then again, I couldn't tell you when I thought it would have been.
The Halloween.
Is it Grease?
Grease.
Grease was the big hit of the
Grease
day.
is the word.
Yeah.
The music, it was just in the charts constantly.
Well, even when I was reading, that's how I knew that, because I was researching what music was out that year, and like it was like the top 100 songs, and it was like Summer Nights, and then it was a few more tunes, and then it was Grease is the word, and then a few more tunes, and then Hopelessly Devoted to You. It was just all fucking Grease songs. You know what I mean?
You want to see the queues for the cinema?
I would say so.
Oh, round the block.
First time seeing that would have been like...
they just had saturated the top of the pops, everything, all the videos. And
but you had Frankie Valli. They had a song in that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Frankie Valli and the Boys.
Oh, aye.
It's a great movie, but fair
I enjoyed it. Some good music in it too, for deafs.
And it was originally a stage play, wasn't it? So...
yeah. But there was some other films as well. It was Jaws 2 came out.
Right.
1978. Trying to think of some more.
Sean, you should have...
You're stealing my thunder.
Oh, Jesus, I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know the format.
Well, you've already got more than him anyway. He doesn't write stuff down, you see.
Grace Lightning over here, stealing my thunder.
There's Zuko.
Do you know what?
Sean, what films came out this year?
Do you know what? I must have viewed those Halloween and Deer Hunter, like.
I'm nearly sure Deer Hunter was that year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Darren, how would you like to be on our podcast doing the movies?
You can be our movie researcher.
You can be a movie guy.
Like, there's the door. Is that what you mean, Patton? To my own home? Where am I supposed to go? I could go to my parents.
Go ahead, help me out.
There's not much. There was also the first adaptation of Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
The animated?
The cartoon.
Which kind of ends like halfway...
I've never seen it.
Halfway through the Two Towers.
I got bored about 20 minutes in.
The first and a half film, as we know it.
Yeah, because they ran out of money, so they just had to end it. And it's just so funny. Like, it's quite... It's great. It's a really good show. And then it just kind of goes... It just does this part where the ring just goes up in there, and it's like, and the ring was returned to Mordor. and that's it. And
you're like, in the studio was like, right, lads, wrap it up. This is our last afternoon here.
But it's actually a good watch.
Yeah.
There was also The Wiz.
That's right, The Wiz came out.
What was The Wiz?
It was
somebody taking a Wiz.
The black version of The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Michael Jackson was in it.
Diana Ross,
and it was great songs like get on down the road. You know.
Oh, yeah.
But funky.
So it was pretty good.
Do you know what? I haven't seen it. I really do want to see it.
These characters called the Wheelies. They were all over the place.
That's Return to Oz.
They went round in the wee.
They are in
creepy.
Are they in the Wiz?
They're in the Wiz. Yeah.
Oh, well, that would make it's still from Frank Baum's books, like so.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That a wee throwback to that. Do you remember the episode where they all turned black?
That's right.
They talk about the Wiz a lot, and I think I was kind of based on the Wiz. Do you know what I mean?
That actually makes more sense to me now.
I think we're in the Wiz.
Yeah. Michael Jackson was the Scarecrow. Sorry.
You can move that mic along with you. You can bring it closer to you, or
it just shows you my lack of
there we go.
It's only because we've been doing it every week now. The first week we were like, oh, fucking all over the shop. But now I'm like, no, I'm just going to sit here.
Oh, well.
But it makes it hard to look at each other when we're talking, which we like to do. So we'll meet in the middle.
Probably for the best.
I'll just sit back to back.
There any more movies?
There was also Piranha.
Yeah, Piranha was, and The Swarm as well was another one. The Swarm was a good one. That was Lee Majors, I think, was on that one, and they had to sit with a straw in his mouth where all these bees crawled over him. It was class.
The Swarm.
I think it's that kind of thing where a certain genre of movie comes from, like Jaws obviously was a few years prior, so you just had all these kind of like
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes was that year too.
Doesn't sound as scary as Jaws.
That sounds too good.
Can we get Brendy's Piranha impersonation again here?
Did I do a Piranha impersonation?
Did you do one?
Don't know.
That sounds like a bee with Tourette's.
Well, it was more the hand movement, not the sound. I don't know what sound piranhas make, if any. It's like,
no,
they're biting a heady.
That was it. Oh well, I mean, do you want to elaborate more on Superman?
Well, it is my favorite movie of all time, and it was shot by Richard Donner.
Yeah,
and he got Mario Puzo to do the screenplay. and they made it actually something that it should never have been. It was actually, they took it seriously, and at that time it was meant to be camp and, you know, like Batman's.
Okay.
It was supposed to be that kind of thing. They took it actually. Donner says, no, this is a American icon. We want to make it. And
was that the first superhero movies to do that?
Yeah. And Christopher Reeve played it so straight. And he gave that character heart. And it was just blew me out of the water whenever I went to see it at the cinema. And I was so smitten with it. And that's when my love of comics and science fiction. Well, I already had a love of comics. It was starting around that time.
Yeah.
And but that just cemented it for me then. From then on, like it was.
You were hooked.
I was hooked.
Yeah,
it was amazing. And they shot it back to back with Superman 2, but Donner didn't get to finish his vision. They actually, you know, but at the end of Superman 1 where he flies around the world and changes time, that wasn't supposed to happen. That was supposed to happen in Superman 2. And because they were rushed for time to get it out, the studio execs loved that bit and said, stick that in. So what was supposed to happen is the missile did land.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the second missile killed Lois Lane, or the first missile killed Lois Lane, so he went back in time, but that never happened. The first movie was supposed to. What was supposed to happen was he saved Lois Lane, but the second missile went off into space and freed the criminals, the Phantom Zone criminals.
No way.
And that was setting up.
That set up the second movie.
So that was what was supposed to happen.
That sounds better, actually.
Yeah, but and then the second movie they went, you know what? We don't need you now. We'll get this boy to do it cheaper or whatever, you know.
I got a different coat from another shop and it was a wee bit cheaper. So
But like Donner was the best. You know, it was amazing.
The only thing that when I researched the movie, I just don't like that Marlon Brando gets like first billing.
Well, you
like,
see,
fuck off.
Such a big star.
Yeah, like fair enough, but it's like
the reason for that was Superman was such a big risk, and they hadn't got a lead actor. It was supposed to be Robert Redford was supposed to be up for the role of Superman, but because they went with an unknown actor, they needed a big name. To bring in people, and if you stuck Marlon Brando's name on it, they would go, "Oh fuck, right, let's go see this." Marlon Brando's on it, you know, and that's
I could see why they done it.
And then like I had to scroll down to get Margot Kidder's name. Like I was all like, she's quite prominent in there. Like she's great.
But that was the thing, you know, they needed a big name to bring because there was no big names on it apart from
Gene Hackman.
And I think they only got Gene Hackman after they got Brando.
Aye.
You know, because
It'd be a good way of getting other big actors in. Go, Brando's doing it. Fancy it.
Was Brando going? Oh, fuck, I'll go in.
Brando's going. I'm going.
100%.
Was there any butter involved?
And then you were speaking about comic books.
Yes.
So a big one that debuted that year wasn't a superhero franchise or anything, but Garfield.
All right. Yeah.
That was just was that
not a fan, but
was that just a comic strip or was that a comic book?
That was like a newspaper strip, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
What would have been your favorite comic book at that time?
Well, that was the thing. I was trying my best to get superhero comics from America. They were colour. We did have British reprints, which were larger in size and black and white, and they were like anthology, whereas the American comics were small, colour, and they had one story in it, like 30-odd pages of story, and it was like epic to get one of those. And it was hard to get over here, especially during the Troubled War. You usually got them at seaside towns. If you went to a seaside town, there was about 40 of them under the buckets and spades. You know, they brought them over as ballast in ships. I went to town. That was like, when I found a stack of those, I was like in Christmas for me. I was all like, that's all I want.
I don't need the beach or a bucket and spade.
No, that's me there. Sorted. And so it was great times, and I ended up with thousands of the bastards, you know.
And you still have thousands of the bastards too, don't you?
Thousands of the bastards, aye. Yeah. And they were great. I loved the ads on them. The ads were like X-ray specs and how to buy a monkey. No, sea monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
All these mad ads for what they wouldn't be allowed over here. You know, the stuff that they were selling, like BB guns and you know, but just the whole thing was just amazing.
And then the ads used to be like Nintendos and Ataris and stuff too.
Oh, later on, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what came out this year.
Atari?
No, Space
Invaders.
That's the first year, Space Invaders.
Not the crisps.
Still a great game to this day.
Still a great game, right?
Tell me this, where did you used to buy your comics in Derry?
Well, that's the thing. They were kind of hard to come by. You might have got one or two in the supermarkets, or they were very hard. They just threw over, as I say, they came over as ballast.
Yeah.
So you might have got comics that were like a year old, but there was no rhyme or reason to the title. Like if you were collecting one, you might never see that title again.
No,
you got one issue of it
next time,
and then you go, I'd love to get the next one,
yeah.
but no chance.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, when I was about 11, my friend John and I, we started getting comics, but we used to go to Trash.
Oh yeah.
Trash sold comics on the top of Waterloo Street.
Yeah.
And that's primarily what they did at the beginning. And like
we're talking way before.
Before
comic shops even existed, even in America. You know, there was no real, like the way nowadays it's direct market comics shops. This was back when comics just went straight to the newsstand.
Comics were like a wee stall in a shop somewhere.
They were throwaway things for children. They weren't like nowadays where they were collectors and stuff like that. They were meant to be threw away.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't meant to be collected. They were just like, a
wee bargain bucket up there at the toe somewhere.
And you walked into a shop and there was like, it's not like nowadays where there's a wee bottom shelf of comics. It was like thousands. You could, like, there was so much to choose from because I think they could turn them back to the thing if they didn't sell
out to the supplier.
Yeah.
So Fuzz would have been around.
No,
not even yet.
Not in the 70s. No. I've been too young to read it anyway.
Yeah,
because that still looks quite vintage or something like even. No,
thanks very much. I think I still think that is a new sort of comic.
I think I used the wrong word there. Just kind of, it still looks quite.
Aye, no, I'm talking way before that. Yeah, it's a different. It was a different word.
So then, sort of the soundtrack of the time, of course, the Undertones.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, the Undertones were in full flight then.
Late 70s.
Yeah.
Ooh,
would you have been into much music at that time?
Not really. I would have been a fan of Elvis, but he died the year before. And I liked. I wrote on the Jimmy Savile. Jesus. They meet Gary Glitter.
Jesus.
Huge Gary Glitter fan. So it was.
That was a Jim will fix it.
Eh?
No.
Jim will fix it.
Jim will fix it.
Aye. It was a show. If you don't know what Jim will fix it was a child show. And
I've certainly heard it.
Aye, and you wrote on it, and they brought children on it, of course, to do to fulfill their wishes. You know, like they meet this star, or they star in this show, or to do this, or go on this roller coaster, or something. You know, and I wrote on to meet Gary Glitter.
Well, thank God it didn't
Good job,
happen.
you didn't.
I don't think I would have been Gary Glitter's type, though. Anyway, I would have been safe enough, I think.
So we had teenage kicks that year. We're talking Undertones and music. Yes. We're not talking Gary Glitter.
No.
Brendan, what other music had we got in those days? 1978.
I'll tell you now. So obviously the top 5 songs that year, and then just a few honourable mentions. So the number 1 song, I had to look some of these up on Spotify. Number 1 song that year, most popular song, 1978, was "Shadow Dancing" by Andy Gibb, which was one I'd never heard of the song or the artist, but I had to look it up. It was a good wee tune. Eh?
From the Bee Gees.
Was he from the Bee Gees?
Yeah, he is from the Bee Gees.
Because I had that wee disco kind of buzz. Number 2, funny enough, was "Night Fever" by
the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees.
Because Saturday Night Fever, the movie, was out that year too.
It was indeed. You're right, because I've seen that as well. Number 3 was "You Light Up My Life" by Debbie Boone. Again, had to Google it, like a wee ballad, kind of wee power ballad, nice wee song as well. Number 4, "Staying Alive" by the Bee Gees. I actually made me think, I had a funny wee thing about that. So when I was away, I was like, my family, all my older siblings, my mum and dad always listened to a lot of music. That's where I got my music taste from. But my dad used to have this Bee Gees album, and "Staying Alive" was on it. And I was famous when I was wee young Wayne, like 5, 6, for basically mishearing lyrics and making up my own. So for years, I used to always say to my dad, "Go and put on 'State of Your Life." I used to sit and sing, Steady your life. Steady your life.
I think that's a far better song.
To this day, that's what I still sing every time I hear it. Like my brother and my dad still just go, steady your life. Steady your life. Do you know what I mean?
That could be the name of our next podcast. Just for a guest on.
Apparently, there's only one BG left, and he was saying that this is true. He sees the ghosts of his dead brothers.
Right.
And I was thinking,
still his life.
Does it give him the heebie-jeebies?
Oh, Jesus. And number 5 was actually, I didn't have to Google this one, but I knew it from an Adam Sandler film, so basically I may as well have to Google it. Kiss You All Over by Exile.
Not sure I know that one.
I only knew it from, do you ever see Happy Gilmore? I know you're not really a big Adam Sandler fan. There's a bit where he's like singing this to his girlfriend trying to get his girlfriend not to leave, and he's singing it there through the intercom because she's outside. But then, unknown to him, she's battered on. It's this wee old woman, and he's like, I wanna kiss you all over, like singing through the thing. Do you know what I mean? And then this wee old woman lands up. He's like, woo. But that was a top 5 song. There's some good albums out that year. Blonde had an album out, Parallel Lines, The Jam, all Modcons. More songs about buildings and food by Talking Heads. Some Girls, Rolling Stones, Man Machine by Kraftwerk, The Kick Inside by Kate Bush, The Clash, Thin Lizzy's Live and Dangerous. Don't know if you ever heard that. It's like a live album. Fucking brilliant. And The Who Are You? Here My Dear, Marvin Gaye. All albums I listen to quite regularly. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So some good tunes out that year.
I think Live and Dangerous was the first album my dad bought.
By Tin Lizzy.
I hope I think I got that right.
Nobody will follow it with. Well, your dad might, I don't know.
Kate Bush was the first female solo UK number 1. First female solo self-written UK number 1.
Not like a pop star sort of.
With Wuthering Heights.
Oh, brilliant.
In that year,
brilliant.
1978.
Kate Bush, she's class.
Wings.
Kate.
Wings. I love Kate Bush.
She's brilliant. She's
amazing.
Was that Mull of Kintyre?
Mull of Kintyre, it was indeed, and that became the biggest selling song in UK history at the time.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Old Mull of Kintyre, which was Paul McCartney, of course, after the Beatles.
Big Paul. Wings had some good wee tunes too.
Yeah.
So they did.
Sex Pistols played their final show in San Francisco.
That's right, because he moved on to Public Image Limited then.
Public Image Limited,
John Boy.
Yeah. Many albums did Sex Pistols have? Is it, I think they only had like the 1 or 2.
Couldn't really, to be honest. I love Nevermind the
Buzzcock.
The Bollocks.
Nevermind the Bollocks.
But I don't know much else about them, to be perfectly honest with you.
I think it is just the one, yeah.
Yeah. Keith Moon died that year from The Who.
Great drummer. Madman.
Absolute fucking madman. He passed away. I remember hearing a story about Keith Moon live on stage, and he had taken like a load of elephant tranquilizers. I think this might have been how he died, actually. And he was on stage playing away and just started to get all fucking mental on them, and then just collapsed and fell through the drums.
He was shot by a park ranger.
Elephant tranquilizers, not even like horse tranquilizers, elephant.
I know. He stole his teeth.
Rumours Fleetwood Mac, that was that year too.
Was it? That couldn't have been. I googled this very quick. 10 minutes before I came over here, I had a quick Google.
I did see it earlier, so we'll go with that. Yeah,
I'm shocked that didn't. I love that album too. I'm shocked that
Same, one of my favourites. TV at that time, Darren.
Oh, this is my subject now.
Yes, here we go.
Whenever I watched TV in the 1978, there was so much fucking stuff I loved. There was Starsky and Hutch, there was Kojak, there was the Bionic Man was still running at that time. The Incredible Hulk. Now, the thing about the Incredible Hulk was, I was a huge comic book fan. I didn't know it was pronounced Incredible Hulk. I'd only seen it written down. So whenever it came on TV and this is up next, the Incredible Hulk, and I was all like, it's pronounced Hulk. In my head, it was a Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk.
It was an Incredible Hulk too.
Yeah, so there was
Alka Hulk.
There was the big show. The big show was Star Trek. It was getting syndicated at the time because that's what made it actually famous. Not the run in the 60s, because it didn't do well in the 60s. It was actually when it was rerun in the 70s, which made it into this huge cultural icon. and for us it was brand new, and you couldn't record it. No, you had no. Well, if you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah.
You know, so it was on a Wednesday night, and I had joined the Cubs, and
but that's like the Scouts type of thing.
I had pestered my parents on getting me a uniform. Cost a fortune and all, and I had it all thing. We were ready to go. Went to walk out the door, Star Trek came on. And I was like, oh, I'm staying to watch this. They were all, you want me? Fuck you. I paid money for that uniform. You go fuck. So I went once, and that was the ending because Star Trek was on the Wednesday night. And, you know, but we had a British version that came out that year as well, and it was very, very good. I don't know if you heard of Blake 7.
Blake 7.
I have heard of that, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. It
was sort of like a cross between Star Trek and Doctor Who. The budget was so cheap, and the special effects were shit. But it was a show for children and adults. But it was very, very dark. Like the lead character Blake, the first setup, the first episode, he gets set up by this evil empire. And they set him up as saying, call him. He said he was a child molester.
Jesus.
No, this is everybody was in the 70s. But
it was a thing.
Couldn't move for pedos.
No.
So they set up, and it was the Game of Thrones of its time, because there was 7 characters. You know, that's why it was called Black 7. But they would kill off characters and then replace them with somebody else. So it was always 7. But it was only 2 characters remained for the 3 or 4 series that lasted, to the very last episode. And the very last episode, they went, fuck it, and killed them all.
That's one way of finishing it.
May as well.
It was pretty good.
You had mentioned Doctor Who there.
Yeah, Doctor Who. He came to Derry in 1970.
I was just going to say that. Tom Baker.
In full scarf, and they brought the TARDIS with them and turned on the Christmas lights.
Right?
Were you? I take it you were there.
I was there. He did a wee tour of Derry at the time. He went up to Brook Park, I think, and he got mobbed up there. And I think he went to some primary school as well. But he was over being interviewed and all about, because that was quite brave of him to come over and
fucking right.
Troubles. People didn't come.
Yeah,
you know, and he came over and turned the lights on, and he had a ball, and he loved it, and he was you know,
very brilliant.
No baller damn.
Big Tom.
Big Tom.
Shout out to Big Tom.
Big Tommy.
But then you see as well, you had other TV shows during the day that it was the height of cartoons. You know, you had all your Looney Tunes, your Tom and Jerry, and
Class.
But also I had all these shows that were coming out then. It was like Battle of the Planets and Space Set, all these new formats because of Star Wars, and it was just hours and hours of fun.
Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica. I actually went to the cinema to see the pilot of that. It was shown as a film, a TV show. Back then, they used to show pilots of TV shows in the cinema.
How long did the pilot last? Or like just
they
a full episode?
It was a movie, basically. So I went to see Battlestar Galactica. I went to see Buck Rogers. I went to see The Incredible Hulk. And Spider-Man, the TV show, had a pilot in the cinema.
Right?
It was awful. But anyway.
Was that the Spider-Man with
the one
thick string?
And he only swung from that one one pole the whole of the series. The same footage was really...
It just flipped.
So there's some great TV shows on. So Happy Days was on.
Yeah.
Mark and Monday started in 1978 as well.
Right. Yeah.
So Mark and Monday was a spin-off from Happy Days.
It was.
Mark's character was on a dream sequence in Happy Days, wasn't that it?
Yep.
And then they were like, Robin Williams was just allowed to improvise. And they just went, we need to get him his own fucking show. Like.
It was amazing.
I loved Mark and Monday.
Brilliant show. He was just
Nano.
Still very heavily referenced in modern pop culture. You always hear in shows talking about Mark and Monday. And stuff
again, like Robin Williams.
The main man.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Legend.
Cheers.
No sweat, hey. Good man, thank you.
Did that start in 1970?
No, but it was a big show in 1970.
I still love Cheers, hey. It's class.
It ran up to 1989 or 1990.
Aye, and then sure, of course, there was Fraser after that. So I think the Fraser character is the longest running
fictional character on TV.
Yeah.
Cheers was on in the mornings before I go to work these days, and I still it's the comedy's like way ahead of its time for the time because it's still pretty relevant now. It's still really funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great fucking cast too.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
What other? So Little House on the Prairie was a big show in 1970 as well. One of my favourites.
Never seen it, but I've always been aware of it.
Yeah.
That always sort of ran back to back with the Waltons, wasn't it?
Oh, it did.
Yeah. On a Sunday.
Still does in my house.
As well. You had to watch, because there was only 3 channels, you had to just watch what was on.
Whatever was on.
Now,
See, that's the thing now.
Now, it's not like nowadays, but you had to watch documentaries about wildlife or whatever. But also, you watched old black and white films and you know, like, and you got to appreciate like Laurel and Hardy and then the musicals like with Danny Kaye and then they would I got like in the Elvis movies and things like that. They were all just you just watched what was on. You had no choice, and everybody watched it.
I think that's a better way to watch TV.
Far
to be
better,
perfectly honest, there's
like,
too much choice these days.
Too much choice, and you'd spend hours now.
We spoilt rotten these days. You're like, I wouldn't be bored to watch that. I want to watch something else, and then I want to watch something else. But if you're like stuck, even say, I think I said this a couple weeks ago, but if you're like, say, imagine you're in a hotel or something, and you've got like 6 channels, this film might start, and you'll sit and watch it, and you'll fucking love it. But the same film has been looking at you on Netflix for the past 10 years, and you'll never fucking entertain it. You know what I mean?
And not only that, like if people went on the next day and just, did you see that?
Did you watch that film?
No, you wouldn't say that. You just go on and say it because like they had watched it.
They all did. Exactly.
There's no choice. They're not else.
Somebody said no. I'd be like, what the fuck were you doing? You know what I mean?
Another big show in 1970 at Grange Hill.
That's right.
Grange Hill came out in 1978.
That's right. Yep.
That was Stoke when I was away.
That's right. Yeah, would have been. It was a great show.
And you had what was
Who
the
was
other
the
one?
headmaster of?
I could see his face.
No, it was a woman.
Okay.
No, you can't see
I
his
could
face.
see.
Biker Grove.
Biker
That's the one
Grove.
I'm on about too. Yeah, a bit later.
But I know who you're on about. There was a guy called Mr. Bronson.
Mr. Bronson, that's who I'm thinking of,
he was
but
a
I know
bad bastard.
he was a bad her.
Wasn't Charles, no?
No. He was the sort of teacher with hung a weighing out the window
Big bow tie.
for not having a pencil.
Aye. And but there was Mrs. McCluskey.
Mrs. McCluskey, I mean her now.
Sounds like a teacher from Derry.
We also had MASH. Were you a fan of MASH?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mashed potato.
No.
Gravy.
Mashed potato, mashed potato.
Right.
Turkey and ham.
An acronym.
So I think that's all the TV shows.
Oh, you couldn't even start. That's only the top of the iceberg there. There were some amazing shows.
You'd be here all night.
We'd be here all night. Right?
So yeah, on that, I think we're pretty much wrapped up, Darren.
Oh, Jesus, is that the time already? See, it doesn't be long flying on, hey, does it?
Do you mind the time?
Do you mind that there? No.
Mind the time just come past. Darren, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come over here and talk about 1978.
Learned a lot, genuinely.
And so your show is on in Brickworks.
Yeah, 26th of May.
Sunday night, and you're off on Monday, so no excuses. And the tickets out already?
They are, yes.
Where are they available from?
Online.
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite.
Check out Darren's socials and check out our socials, and we'll try to post a wee thing about it
That's
too.
brilliant. Thanks for having me.
No
Thank you very much,
Thanks for
Darren.
joining
It
us.
was a
My
pleasure.
pleasure.
Indeed.
And thank you, Brendy.
You're very welcome, sir. No bother. Hey.
And thank you, Sean.
You're welcome, and thank you, Fenton.
Thank you, Fenton. I'm looking up now. Thank you, Fenton. I said last week that nobody ever thanks Fenton. He always thanks us. So now Sean's like,
doing it all the time.
yeah, send them fucking flowers and all.
Cheers, Darren. Darren, it has been an absolute pleasure as always, and we all look forward to seeing your show.
We do.
Apart from me, right?
Apart from you. And thank you very much. If everybody could check us out on wherever you get your podcast, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, all those things.
Bebo.
Give it a like. Give our guests a like as well and a follow.
Yeah.
100%.
Of course, it was Darren McCay. Thank you very much, and that has been Mind the Time.
See you after, hey.
Bye bye.
Best. Happy days.